Welcome back to our channel, Asian Ghost Stories. If you're a fan of horror films, you might remember the creepy, tall, faceless figure known as Slender Man, which made waves in the cinema back in 2018. Even today, people still talk about it. But do you know about the Japanese version of Slender Man? Let me introduce you to Slender Woman, or Hachishaku-Sama, a terrifying figure who's rumored to be over 2 meters tall and specializes in abducting children. This chilling legend is one of the most famous in Japan's urban folklore. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that follow button and show your support for our channel. So, here's how it all begins. 3 childhood friends, Sakura, Satoshi, and Nozomi, decide to take a part-time job at a remote resort on an island far from the mainland. When they arrive, they notice something strange. Most of the locals have vanished, and the town feels eerily empty. The only person there to greet them is Kota Akashi, a longtime employee at the resort. As they walk towards the resort, Sakura notices numerous strange statues. She tells the others about an old monk who once lived on this island, in a place called Amori. This monk was the one who founded the settlement, and after his death, many legends surrounding the island's waters emerged. It was said that the water could heal illness, and if someone went missing at sea, they could be returned home with nothing more than a prayer. Sakura even mentions seeing a monk ringing a bell, beckoning towards an island in the distance. The 3 friends reach the resort and are welcomed by the owner, Makiko, and her husband Kensuke, who has difficulty walking due to a leg injury. The vacation season hasn't started yet, so the 3 have plenty of free time to relax. But that night, something strange happens. While everyone is asleep, Sakura is suddenly woken by the sound of footsteps. She grabs her phone to check the time, 2 a.m. Curiously, she steps outside to investigate and sees Makiko carrying a tray of raw meat upstairs. Feeling uneasy, she brushes it off and goes back to bed. The next day is peaceful with little to do, but that night, at exactly 2 a.m., Sakura is woken up again by the sound of footsteps. This time, she decides to follow. However, as she gets closer, she loses track of the source. The next morning, Kota tells them about an odd experience of his own. On the 2nd floor, there's a hidden room. One night, Kota had gone outside and, while returning, saw Makiko opening a door to that room. From inside, strange scraping sounds could be heard. After a few minutes, Makiko came back out. Kota, feeling suspicious, suggests a dare, who's brave enough to investigate the mysterious room. Nozomi agrees, eager to pair up Sakura and Satoshi. Later that night, Sakura and Satoshi head towards the room. Satoshi enters first, but something seems off. Sakura notices that his eyes are glowing with an eerie light. Satoshi insists that there's nothing strange in the room, but Sakura feels otherwise. He never went inside. Instead, it seemed like he was sitting outside, eating something. When Satoshi touches his mouth, he's shocked to find many human fingernails embedded into his skin. Suddenly, Makiko appears, and when she sees them standing there, she asks what they're doing. Thankfully, Kota arrives just in time to cover for them, saying they were just playing a game. The next day, after that disturbing incident, Satoshi begins seeing things that others can't see. His mind becomes unhinged, and he feels as though someone is following him. Terrified, he tries to run away from the resort. Later, Sakura finds him hiding on a boat. He shows her a strange bruise on his arm, as though someone had grabbed him. Seeing her friend suffer, Sakura can't stay silent any longer. That night, she sneaks out and climbs the stairs to the mysterious room. Inside, she is hit with an overwhelming stench and realizes that Makiko has been performing some kind of dark ritual. As she approaches the source of the sounds, Sakura finds a strange setup, candles burning, a mannequin at the center, and drawers filled with human nails and teeth. As she attempts to open a 3rd drawer, she's horrified to see a shadowy figure behind her. Panicking, she runs downstairs, only to realize that her mouth is covered in food, just like Satoshi. The next morning, Sakura tells Nozomi what happened, describing a sense of evil that she felt in the house. Later, when the group encounters some schoolchildren, Satoshi sees 5 of them, but Sakura and Nozomi only see 4. The 5th child, with dark, lifeless eyes, seems to be haunting them. It's clear now, they are being followed by vengeful spirits. They flee in panic, running into a convenience store. But soon, a ghostly teenager appears and grabs Sakura's hand, causing Satoshi to try and help her. However, the store clerk and another man mistake Satoshi for a thief, and they try to stop him. In desperation, Sakura uses a radish to knock them both out and helps Satoshi escape. Meanwhile, Nozomi and Kota have been investigating the locked room, but before they can open it, Kota's hand is grabbed by an unseen force. Nozomi runs in fear, and as the night unfolds, the group begins to realize the true horror of their situation. As they search for a way to save themselves, Kota shares a terrifying urban legend about the island. It's said that if a child goes missing, their soul is taken and placed in a ritualistic room where they are kept by a dark spirit. The only way to restore a lost soul is through an ancient ritual. The group must now find a way to rescue Satoshi and Sakura from this nightmare before it's too late. A battle ensues as they confront the spirit, known as Hachishaku-Sama, a terrifying demon who preys on children. She's a female version of Slender Man, and her power is beyond comprehension. As the group races against time, they perform a desperate ritual in an attempt to save their friends. But the demon's grip is relentless, and the friends find themselves facing death in the most terrifying way possible. In the end, Hachishaku-Sama is defeated, but the victory comes at a heavy price. The souls of Sakura and Satoshi may be saved for now, but as they leave the island, they can't shake the feeling that something, or someone, is still watching them.